Hello. Welcome, one and all. I'm just sorting my iPad out. Welcome, one and all, to a last-minute live stream. Yes, I had a little bit of free time today. Excuse me. So I thought I'd get a bit of streaming done. I was going to do a game stream, and then I thought, no, I'll do a bit of workbench stuff because this is still on the bench. So I thought I'll give this a go. I'll crack on with me Cadia Stands set. Only going to go for an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. I was just afforded a little bit of free time in Mama Wolf's schedule, which means I can actually get on with some work. So not often that happens, but it does happen from time to time. So join me as I continue building. Yes. I was hoping to have started like about 4 o'clock or something, 5 o'clock, but it didn't really happen. So yes. Anyway, yes. Hopefully you can all see me and hear me okay. Don't forget, I'll do the usual stuff out the way first of all. It's very warm in here. Sorry, I'm a bit sweaty because it was all very last minute. Big thanks to my sponsors and affiliates. You have, of course, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs, and of course my affiliate supporters, Cromlech, over at bitsofwar.com. Links to both of them in the description below the video. The Cromlech link in there will give you a 5% discount on your order if you use that link or my code. So give that a go. I'm out of breath because I've just run up the stairs after making Mama Wolf a cup of tea. Whew. And running around getting everything to work at the last minute. But yes, do check out those links, free models and Cromlech, down below in the description below the video. And of course my patrons and channel members who keep this channel alive at all times. Literally, I do this for a living and they are my living, so big thank you to them. If you want to support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and become an patron, or you can press join underneath any of my video content and become a channel member. I'm just having to loosen my belt. I put my belt on a bit too tight this morning. Oh, hello, that was uncomfortable. Whew. So yes, let's crack on. I'm going to be just carrying on with I've got the Cadia Stands box set. I've built all the dudes. If you've been watching the Friday Frolic streams, built all the dudes, and I was in the middle of building the Sentinel. And we're going to get on and finish that, and then I think I've just got the heavy weapons squads to do that. Let's have a look and see who is in chat. Probably won't get many people because it's kind of around about dinner time and it's very last minute. But Shellard was the first in. He says, Fox! And then, of course, McLeish turns up at the same time, just shouting, nonsense! Yes. Shellard says, bench built. I always wanted to build my own bench. Have I said bench build or bench built? I can't remember now. Did I misspell it? So those two ne'er-do-wells, run, Fox, run, it says Shellard. Those two ne'er-do-wells are in. I do have the chat in front of me over there, as you can see, so if you want to interact with me while I'm working, please do. I'm going to have to open the window because it's too darn warm in here. Hang on a second. A moment. Yeah. Opening the window now, so yeah. Ooh, very warm. Now would be the usual time when everybody in the neighbourhood opens up their circular saws, hammer drills and all kinds of loud DIY equipment. Now I've opened the window, so we'll wait and see. So we're going to crack on with this anyway. So we're building this Sentinel. So let me put on my lenses. Anyway, I hope you're all well. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. I'm just going to quickly check something on the computer Bob. Let's have a look and see how we're doing. Is my computer exploding? No. Good. Jolly good. Nothing's overloading or blowing up. Good. Can't guarantee the stream won't fall over, but you know, hey, that's always the way with me. Anyway, let's crack on. So, turn that off. These last minute streams are always a bit higgledy-piggledy because, as the name implies, they're last minute. So let's get this tape off here. I just put this tape on last night because I was going to put this away and I didn't want to have to keep taking it apart all the time, so I just put some tape on it. So we've built the Sentinel so far. Got all the major structure done. Think a tight belt is painful, try some tight underwear, says Shellard. I'm not into gold lame hot pants like Fester, so yeah. I did pop Fester a thing saying if he wanted to come and join me, but he might be asleep or busy or otherwise engaged because he's not replied to me yet, so I thought I'll just crack on anyway. But big hugs to Fester. Right, so if you saw last night, I've been building the Sentinel. Do let me know, of course, if it's sounding and looking okay. I've built most of the Sentinel. I've left the front off for a very specific reason, because I need to be able to paint the pilot. And the pilot is going to be hard to paint once he's in the cockpit and all the stuff is built around him. And what you have to do is, he goes in there, but you have to put the front plate on first. But the front plate it has all the instrument panel on it. So that has to go on first. Then he goes in on top of that because his hands rest on the instrument panel because he's got like the controls in his hand, moulded into his hand. So he would sit there like that in there. Then you've got a roll cage, and then the actual cover if you want to do the armoured version. So my plan is, despite the instructions saying that you must do this bit first and then put this plate on the bottom, and it wouldn't work otherwise, you can just glue that bit on the bottom and then just slide that in like that. It's no problem. See? So I'll get everything painted up. I will then, once it's all painted up, I would assemble the cockpit with the dude in it very carefully. I'll glue this frame in place, this roll cage in place, and then that's the unarmoured Sentinel. And then rather than glue this on, I'll just leave that loose so that it can be put on or taken off. You know, whether it's being played as the armoured Sentinel or the Scout Sentinel, it can be easily taken off, put on and removed at any time. So, you know, the person using it has got the choice. Right, so let's crack on. So I'm way up between the instructions anyway. I did do a little bit of remedial fixing. I don't know if you'll be able to see it now, it's on the base, but we have got some plastic card shenanigans going on under there. There is a big gap, sort of seam line gap all the way down the middle of the hull of the vehicle. And I really couldn't be bothered filling it because there's no point on something armoured. You can just cover it up. So I covered it with some shaped plates and rivets. It just looks like part of the equipment of the Sentinel. So I've got a few bits of plastic card on there. It's a very easy and quick way of filling gaps without actually filling gaps, and it adds to the character. So that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Have a swig of coffee and we'll crack on. As always, folks, bench and belly. What are you working on at the minute? What's on your bench? Doesn't have to be a model kit, could be anything creative. And what's in your belly? What have you had for your dinner, or what are you going to have for your dinner? Let me know how it looks and sounds. It's a little bit framey on my end, choppy frame rate, but that's because I've got the preview screen, so let me know if it looks all right for you guys and sounds all right. I did ask that, but Shellard and McLeish are being lazy and not responding, so slackers. Right, so I've done all that. Next bit is for me to assemble the weaponings. Now, you can excuse me. Got crap on my lenses already. Good God, I've been going for like 2 minutes. My glasses are covered in schmutz. Schmutz, I tell you. Yeah, let's clean my glasses. Oh dear. It's one downside of wearing glasses is schmutz. People said, why do you wear contact lenses? Like, because I'm never, ever, ever going to stick my finger in my eye. Not for all the money in the world. No, not ever going to happen. Forget it. No, denied. I'd rather bury my face in a bucket full of spiders than touch my own eye. Just no, it's not going to happen. I mean, neither's burying my face in a bucket full of spiders, but just, it makes the point. Right, so we have on this here, we have this hole here, you see? And on the vehicles, we have a little, on the weapons, we have a little, oh, there's another, it's on there as well. Can't get the staff. Hey, Shellard, McLeish, you there or what? Type more words in the chat, ask me questions. How many people are watching? 8 people watching and only 2 of you are in chat. If you are watching this, do come and join the live chat. I've got it in front of me and it's a good way for us to hang out. You're keeping me company while I'm at the bench, you see. So do come and join the live chat. If you're watching on a mobile device, the chat might be underneath the video. If you're watching anywhere else, like embedded somewhere, Facebook or Twitter, then click on the little YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner. That'll take you to YouTube, where you can carry on watching and join the live chat. No, says Shellard. Okay, fine. Fine. Right. So we're going to build some weapons. I'll get them built first, then I'll try and get my brain around magnetising them. Because it might actually be something really, really simple to magnetise them, in which case I can do that with no effort whatsoever. Because I will be putting these on eBay eventually, so I want to make sure whoever buys it can have as many options as they want. Or I might keep it for myself, and I might just have my own. I've got Imperial Guard already, you see, and these are really nice, so I might keep it for myself. But it doesn't mean we've got to build everything. So let's start with the big las cannon. You're a big las cannon. So we need 53, 54, and 52. I hope you can build all the weapons anyway. I'm not just stuck to 1 or 2 of them. What did I say? 52, 3, and 4. 52, 53 and also 54, yeah. Now here's a bit that I recognise from my bits box. This big like battery pack for the las cannon. Oh, I'm knocking the microphone. That bit there. I've stuck that on the back of many a Lehman Russ turret as an extra widget, greeble, in the past. I put the camera really close and everything's in the way now. 52 and 54. So 54 is the dirty great big las cannon Foxx. You can't really miss that. It's hard to get that one confused with anything else. Get the las cannon off. Yes, so anyway, bench and belly, folks. What's on your bench? What are you having for dinner? I have no idea what we're having for dinner tonight. I have not planned at all. So I don't know what the dinner plan is. That's that. And 52. 52. Right, so that's the las cannon. We'll get that bit done first. I shall save myself some cleaning up by using this to sand. My chatterings don't seem to show up on your screen. Can anyone else see me, says Stefan Last. Yes, I'm here. I can see you. I can hear you. I can see you. Don't forget, though, there will be a lot of words that YouTube won't allow you to write. I'm sure you haven't written anything dubious, and I have a list of words that aren't allowed to go into chat, so if you typed in one of those words, it might hold that comment back. Also, you can't post links. So again, if you're trying to post a link, that won't appear either. Right, let's get these cleaned. Okay, now it worked. Or, oh, now it worked. Woohoo! Yes, YouTube's usually made of nonsense anyway, as we all know. How are we looking? Looking all right? Yeah, we're looking okay. We're looking okay. Let me know if I'm not in focus and stuff and all that. I'm bloody hyper this minute, aren't I? Talking at top speed. It's because I'm not used to doing streams by myself while I'm building and stuff. I'm not going to worry too much about the nub on top of here because that's a cylinder and there's another half to go on that. We can clean that up when I clean up both halves. Ask my doctor, is diarrhea hereditary? He said only... I'll start that again. Shellard said, ask my doctor, is diarrhea is hereditary? He said, writing really badly. He said, only it... You've written that really badly, Shellard. That's a complete train wreck. I'll reword it for you. Ask my doctor, is diarrhea hereditary? He said it only runs in your genes. Yes, it wasn't really worth the build-up. Bless you, my child. Bless you. Yes, I thought I'd give it a go today. I had a little bit of free time. Colin and I are planning on, as you know, we've had to reshuffle some stuff for various real-life reasons that I'm not going to necessarily make public or talk about, but as you know, I've had to reschedule a lot of my stuff, and Warhammer Sunday is normally at 3 o'clock on a Sunday, and I can't really do that time slot anymore for the time being, so we're rescheduling a lot of stuff on both our channels. As you know, Colin's now snagged that 2 PM Sunday slot because I'm not using it, which is fine. He's doing his Sunday brunch at 2 PM on Sunday. I'm going to be doing gaming streams on the Sunday at lunchtime, about 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock usually. I normally do Friday and Saturday gaming streams and then Warhammer Sunday, but that's changed now, so it's going to be Friday I'll do my gaming stream in the morning and then the frolic in the evening. Sunday I'll do a gaming stream in the morning, like 11 or 12, and then finish before Festa starts his brunch. I'll just move the camera this way a bit, because then I can work nearer. And the Warhammer Sunday, which when we bring it back, hopefully next week, that will be on a Saturday. And we're going to hopefully try and aim for a 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock if necessary slot. A bit like this, but not quite as late. It'll never be guaranteed at a specific time because I can't do that at the moment, unfortunately. Again, I'm not going to really discuss it, but yes, so I have to be a bit flexible with time. So around about 5 o'clock-ish, late afternoon, before dinner time kind of stuff. That'll be Warhammer Sunday. We're going to hopefully start that next week. So we shall see. So Warhammer Sunday will be back. Fear not, young childers. Warhammer Sunday is not gone forever. that a bit overexposed, that hand? It'll be fine. Are we looking okay? Is it looking all right for you, by the way, guys? Do let me know. Nobody's actually answered that yet. Fox, you Goomba. Oh, a super chat has appeared. It is super effective. Canada spans maple bacon, says Andy McLeish. Canada spans. Thank you very much, Mr. McLeish. That's very kind of you. I'll get you a free lateral lisp. There you go. Free lateral lisp with your donations. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, my friend. You should get a pop-up in a minute. I can't hear the pop-ups because I can't hear the desktop audio, but thank you. That's very kind. If you want to do a super chat, folks, you can do. Support the channel. Just press the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window if you wish. Completely optional. There you go. There's a little animation. Dee. So how are you all? Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. It is the Saturdays. I'm not got anything planned. I can't really plan anything anymore. It's not the way my life works at the minute, sadly. Dee. And as I said in my video the other day, I am exceptionally grateful to all of you, everybody who's stuck by me over the last, it's going to be like a year and a half now, isn't it? Let's not mince words, bones. Everyone who's stuck by me and is still around, even after all this time. I am more than well aware that content on my channel has been just absolutely dead, other than my game streams, which is not really what I want. I don't want to do just video game streams, but sadly at the moment, they're mostly what I can do. When I get free time or to confirm a stream or do a stream, it's very last minute. Can move my microphone a bit, hang on. It's very last minute. And really I only get a chance to like, literally turn everything on and just, rather than try and find something to build, just turn the Xbox on. That's it. It's a chance to hang out with you guys. So I'm more than grateful to all of you who stuck around so far. I love you dearly. Where's me scribing tool? There it is. It's a massive comfort to me that you're still around, that you like my specific brand of nonsense. I've got loads of stuff I need to get back onto the bench. I've got what have we got? I've got a couple of Cromlech builds that I need to build and get painted up. I want to do them just because they look brilliant, and also I need to do them because I've got my affiliate link, and it would be a good idea to do those. I want to do my Kshatriya. And that is something I need to get done because I really want to do it. And I'll show you something in a minute that I bought to go with my Kshatriya. But I'm also acutely aware that Colin's doing his, and I don't want to step on his toes while he's doing his because that would kind of suck. So let's find other stuff to do. I've got lots of things I need to build and paint. I've got, well, now I've got my Steel Legion dudes as well. So yeah, I need to get that done. So that might be next. After the Cromlech, but there's all other things as well. I've got loads of stuff I need to paint, so we shall see. Right, that's looking pretty mintulations, looking nice and neat. A little bit scratchy where I've scraped it, but all I need to do with that is get a brush dampened, only dampened with some extra thin, and just very quickly do a burp, obviously blend that over the rough bit, especially when you've got anything like with the recess, like a grill or something, and there's a little mould line. Once you've scraped it out, just get your extra thin, almost dry the brush, and it just melts off any little fluffy bits and little bits sticking up. Just melts them away. Gross models, yay! Cadia Stands. Welcome, Chris. Welcome. Big hugs to you, my friend. Dream Builder Daniel L is in, says, hey Fox and all in chat. Hey Daniel, big hugs to you. Evening all, not really here again though, says Chris. McLeish says Kshatriya. Yes. I'll show you something in a minute. Oh, I brushed my teeth before I went live, and I've got them little stringy bits of skin that you get from the roof of your mouth and stuff when you use too much toothpaste. Gross. It's called sloughing. I had to look it up. Oh, bleh. Either that or I'm a changeling and I don't know it. And I'm dripping. Right. Are we looking and sounding okay? I've still not had an answer from anyone yet. Chris, you're reliable. Tell me if I'm looking and sounding okay, please. McLeish and Shellard are absolutely useless for that kind of feedback. absolutely useless. So yeah, so ultimately what I'm trying to say is basically a big massive thank you to everyone who stuck by me while the channel's gone all over the place. It's not ideal. I mean, it's not ideal for me, A, because I want to be at the bench making content, and B, obviously I'm not earning anything while I'm not making lots of videos. It's what I do for a living, so I kind of, but unfortunately for the last year or two, real life has kicked it in the balls, let's just say, and it continues to do so, and it's probably going to be that way for a while, so I'll do my best with what I can do. So I do really applaud you for your patience and your understandings. Oops. It means a great deal to me. Shello says, hi Chris, Daniel. Video and sound is great, says Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. At least I can trust you to come back with the feedback I've been asking for 20 minutes. I don't know. Shellard, McLeish, honestly, what do I pay you two for? I don't know. Can't get the stuff. I can see clearly, but there's a silly squawking sound every 3 seconds. Oh, sorry, it's Fox, says McLeish. I did not expect you to say that at all, McLeish. I was not waiting for that to pop up at all. Everyone's a critic. Real life sucks, donkey twadger. Don't worry, says McLeish. I do worry. I do worry. Because at the end of the day, you know, I had all these plans over the last couple of years. I had many plans, both, you know, creative plans and earning money plans and, you know, things I can do on the channel and content and stuff to just try and get myself some income and some savings. And that's all gone out the window. So I just haven't got the opportunity or time at the minute. Everything's at a standstill. I'm not, it sounds like I am, but I'm not really complaining because at the end of the day, you know, real life's always more important. Don't get me wrong. I am very, very lucky to be able to do what I do. But it is, I'm not going to say it's not frustrating because, you know, I want to do stuff. I want to hang out with my buddies on the interwebs and do silly nonsense. Belly button, McLeish, Sharrett and belly button fluff, says Mark Shellard. Belly button fluff. Never tried it. I hear it's quite tasty. Right, so I'm going to glue on this muzzle. There's still a big nub on the top there, but that doesn't matter because we'll clean that up when we actually clean up the seam, the gap. We'll do the glue and squish. Glue and squish. We glue and squish. Press pan release, press pan release. How's that for a throwback? Callback, whatever. Do. Right, so that can be left to glue for a while, so the bead of glue can set, and then I can go along and clean it up and clean the nub up at the same time. I need to blow my nose. 1 second, folks. Sorry about that. Nasal shenanigans. We have an battery pack, a power pack for the dirty great big las cannon, which goes here, see, like that, you see there, there's lovely. That goes in there, so we'll just glue that on. I want to see how this one goes together, and then I can look at, assuming that the rest are very similar, possibilities for, I don't know where it's such a good clean joint that I don't actually know where the joint is. I don't actually know. That's a sign of a good joint that I can't tell where it actually connected. Okay, awesome. So that's on. That's that one. We've got a dirty great big las cannon. So it's got a nice recessed dimple there, you see. And I'm assuming that that sits on this side. That's got a dirty great big thing. So for that, you probably wouldn't, I mean, you wouldn't really need to magnetize it, but the only problem, of course, is it would strip all the paint off it, no problem. So that's going to be a bit more challenging. I think the easiest thing to do there, I'm not sure actually, it would be to maybe, see, that's actually hollow. was going to say drill a hole into that and then you can put a magnet inside that and it would snick into place, but that's actually hollow. So the easiest thing to do might be drill this out. It's hollow on that side. So then pack that with green stuff or putty. Push a magnet into this so it's flush with the end there. And then put a magnet in here. I might need to file that down a bit so that this still goes in as far, because obviously I have a magnet in here, it's going to stick out. So I'd have to, however tall the magnet is, I'd have to trim off that. But that's not a massive ask. And then it would just go and stay in place then, and you could take it on off. I mean, you could leave it as a friction fit, but you're going to be stripping the paint off every time you take it on and off, which is not ideal. So that's a possibility for that and the other weapon. And the other choice, of course, is just to build it with the standard weapon, and that's what you get, and that's what it's left with. So we'll see. Okay, so that's the las cannon. Let's make the melt. I never know which is a melter and which is a flamer. I'm guessing that's a flamer. It's got a flame thing on it. Right, chat. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. Or maybe not. Copyright. You, Colin, Chris, and one or two others are good company when I sit here in my lonesomeness cleaning up vinyl recordings or doing Photoshoppery. As long as you're here, I'll be here. Oh, thank you very much, Stefan. Love you too. Jeff Light's in. Hey, Jeff. Welcome, welcome. Because at the end of the day, you guys are keeping me company while I do nonsense as well. So it works both ways. Right, 51 and 50. I don't think this will be a particularly complicated magnetisation job, but it might be something I do off camera because I like to swear a lot. Ooh, heavy flamer, I think this is. They never tell you in the instructions. In the old days, when the weapons were listed in the back of the instructions with all the relevant points and stuff, you know what was what because they listed them. Now it's just got silly little symbols that don't mean anything. And 50. 50? Wer ist 50 gefahren? Sehr. Yeah. You know, if I ever somehow become a dictator of a country and have an army at my disposal, not that never happened, but if somehow that happened, I think the first thing I would do is insist that whatever the livery is for my military, for my armed forces, there have to be skulls on everything. I think I'd have to do that. I'd have to put skulls on everything. Because it would be the way forward. It would be the way forward. So, right, I want gold. I want all my stuff to have gold. Camouflage is irrelevant. Camouflage what you need to. But I want everything to have gold trim. And I want skulls everywhere. Also, if you can just invent las cannons and all that kind of goodness, that'd also be great, thanks. The best armed forces ever. And I would also, being an autocratic dictator, of course, if I was such a thing, I would also make it my point of pride to do, because I'd be doing like a Warhammer army, I would make sure that the peaked caps of my officers were vastly more tall and ridiculously pointy than the Russians and the Chinese and the North Koreans. Because they have their, like, if you look at the officers' hats, especially North Koreans, they have like this, either the North Koreans have massive, like the bit on the hat that's the disc at the top. In the North Koreans, it's massive, right? They're a peaked cap with this massive, like, radar dish on the top. I think the Russians have very pointy ones as well, but they're kind of sticky up pointy. I would have to make sure that all my commissars and officers had like massive, massive, pointy, sticky up hats, just to look as ridiculous as possible. And this is the thing, right? And it's one of those weird little things in life that it seems to be like an unwritten law that if you are an autocratic dictator with a subjugated population in a military dictatorship, you have to make sure that your army has the worst possible uniforms they can ever have. Because, like, look at, like, North Korean uniform, like the dress uniform. I don't mean, like, you know, I don't mean BDUs and stuff. I mean the dress uniforms. Look at them. They're just, like, They always look terrible. They always look like they're just a bit like it's a knockoff costume from a fancy dress shop. North Korea's are ridiculously cheap and tacky looking. And the funny thing is, nobody in North Korea seems to wear anything that fits. I don't quite get what this thing about massively wide trousers is in North Korea. Like you see Kim Jong-un or any of his officers, and they've got these like trousers that are like 14 feet wide, but they're not flared. They're just straight all the way down. And especially on Kim Jong-un, you have these like massive wide trousers and then these tiny little feet. And it's like, you look stupid, dude. Really, you need to. And look at other like military hunters and military dictatorships. They always have the worst looking uniforms, cheap, nasty looking, like literally like it's from a costume shop. It's so funny. And they always have like the most braiding and the most epaulets and the most medal boards, because they get a medal for them. You brushed your teeth, woohoo, you get a medal for that. I love it. I love just the crappiness of like military dictatorship uniforms. They're just so, obviously the political side of it's not great, but the fact it's how you can spot them. If I was a world leader, I'd be like, I base my international relations with other countries on what their army looks like. If their officers look stupid, I probably don't want to be dealing with them very openly. It's true. They look like comedy villains, if you know what I mean. Like, Tim Curry in like Command and Conquer. Space! That stupid, like, over the top looking nonsense with all the... Yeah, I just love it. I love it. It seems to be universal that all the dictatorships in the world get their uniforms from, like, TK Maxx or something. Aldi, they go to the foreign section in Aldi and they have uniforms, like you get school uniforms. But anyway. I have no idea what I'm talking about. All the people that are new in chat, how you doing? Bench and Belly. Tell me what's happening in your world. Well, I've got the sniffles as always. Right, so we've drilled out the barrel. We've drilled out the barrels on the heavy flamer. It is a flamer because it's got the little igniter thing there. It does make that noise, of course, but just refresh my chat in case it's fallen over. Get this cleaned up. I'm not going to magnetise them probably tonight on stream because I'll get them built first. I'll get them all built and then I'll make a decision whether I want to go to all the effort of magnetising them or just build this with one set of weapons and that's your lot. Because it could go either way. I mean, ultimately, I really think if I was going to build it with one set of weapons, it would have to be the dirty, great big Gatling cannon. Storm bolts. Because, yeah, you can have this pew pew gun, or you could have the world's just biggest death bin. I think you know where my money would go on that one. I think So yeah, give me something to talk about, folks. There's 11 of you watching. There's not 11 of you in chat though. Come on, ask me questions. Give me stuff to talk about, otherwise I'll just sit here quietly building and that's rubbish. You don't want that. You don't want it. Why am I using my knife blade? You absolute spangleberry. For that bit, because it's massive. Hope I'm in focus and all that. Do let me know. I trust you guys to let me know. I don't know why, I just do. Trying to desperately think of something to talk about. Starfield, 6th of September. Woo! Can't wait. Yeah, I'm spent. I've got nothing else to talk about. I'm actually gutted at the minute that about 2 or 3 months ago, Xbox said basically every month you get like some games with gold. If you're an Xbox Live Gold subscriber, you get like free games. I'm not on Game Pass, so I'm gold. And for years they've had the games with gold thing where every month you get like 2 or 3 games free of charge, and as long as you've got Xbox Live Gold, you get to keep them for as long as you want. you know, they're yours as long as you stay subscribed. And I never really paid it much heed, especially over the last sort of 6 or 7 years. I wasn't always on the Xbox, and when I was, I never really looked at the games with gold. I just played the games I liked. And about 2 or 3 months ago, they said, right, we've now reached the limits of all the games that we can give out from Xbox 360, original Xbox, and that era that we can give out free. So basically from now on, it's going to be crappy little indie games that nobody likes and Xbox One onwards. And I'm kicking myself now because over the course of the last 8 or 9 years, I could have picked up so many games for free. It's like I got Metal Gear Solid 5 and Gears of War 4 absolutely free. Games with gold. And it was more just a case of I happened to log in and there'd be a thing on the front page saying this game is free, so I'll go and get it. I never really paid much attention to it. And I'm really regretting that now because I could have had so many games for free over the years. I mean, over the previous last, 3 or 4 months I've been buying like the Far Cry games and stuff. As I've got into them, and it's like I could have had all them games for free over the years. But no, I had to not do any of that. Oh, spoonfuls. So I have to hope they bring out some of the good Xbox One or Xbox One bangers. But the thing I don't really get though is it's like I don't see why they can't redo games they've already done. It's like they're saying, yeah, well, we don't want to do all the games you've already had because you've already had them. Like we did this game 2 years ago and now we're giving it you free again. So yeah, but what about all the people that came on to Xbox Gold after you gave that game out and they didn't get that game? It's a bit, I know they're trying to push Game Pass, but I'm like, oh, if I'd just not been an absolute spong, I could have had millions of free games by now. It used to be really good. Like I say, Metal Gear Solid 5, was absolutely free. It's like, oh, I've had so many good games free of charge, gratis. You all still there in chat? You've all gone very quiet. Or is my chat falling over? Either or at this point. Could be either. Either. Who's sending me emails? Oh, okay. Running out of things to talk about. Really am struggling to think of stuff to talk about now. Please, for the love of dog, put something in chat. Unless my chat's fallen over. Here we go. I knew my chat had fallen over. Question, what colour is your carpet? Mostly old. It's actually carpet tiles in here. It's a faded reddy brown colour and a faded tan colour. A faded brick colour and a faded tan colour, different colour tiles. Also, years of things being dropped on the carpet and walked into the carpet tiles, and also glue and paint. So yeah, it's not a uniform colour anymore. Daniel says, belly, meat, sausage, and meat sauce and pasta, beer, bench. I'll start that again. Belly, meat sauce and pasta, beer, bench, the Lego DeLorean. Ooh, meat sauce and pasta. Is there actually meat in the meat sauce though? Ooh. Or do you mean meat, sauce and pasta? Jeff says, Fox, is that a current Walker or one of the older Cadia? Well, no, this is the new one. This is the funky new curvy one. I got the Cadia Stands set, which is basically just the Canadian combat Canadian. It's the Cadian Combat Patrol it is now, but before that came out it was the Cadia Stands set because it also came with the codex and some cards and some other bits and bobs. So I got that, and it's the new one. I quite like it as well. It's a bit more interesting to make than the original one. The only thing I don't like about it is it's a lot less posable. On this one you've got either the legs that way or the other way around, because you can have them the other way around. So you can have this leg forward or that leg forward, but that's it. There's no movement of the joints. I mean, you could cut the little pegs off and have a bit of fiddle with them, but there's no movement here. The old one, you could put it in all kinds of funky poses. But you could cut the little peg off there and move that a bit. The body sits on a little peg on the ball joint here, but again, so it's kind of locked in place. But I cut that off last night, and you've got a little bit of wiggle. So I've got a little bit of wiggle to it, but it's not quite as posable as the old one. But it obviously looks a lot better. And I like the fact I can build it with the. When it's finished, it'll have the roll cage glued on. If I can get this done on camera. I'll have the roll cage glued on, and then afterwards, if I want to, I can just place that on top and use it as the armoured one. Take it off again. It's nice to build though, it's much more fun to build. Why is my chat never updating? Such nonsense. I don't understand the internet. I'm liking the new Cadian stuff though. Well, Astra Militarum, which is specifically Cadian, but I just hope that they, because obviously they're replacing all the Astra Militarum stuff slowly with the new Cadian stuff. So you can't buy the old Cadians anymore on there. It's all the new ones now. Save for a couple of bits that haven't been replaced yet, I think. But I do hope that they start to branch it out a bit and make your Imperial Guard not just Cadians. Like, even if they just bring out decal sets for other, you know, other types of Imperial Guard. Or even bring out some official plastic stuff for other things that you could make in the past, like that Steel Legion that I got, that's all metal because it's really old. If they brought out modern stuff for Steel Legion, or Vostroyan Guard, or any of the other like ones that you'll see in the codexes that they don't actually support and give you parts for, I think it'd be really nice if they varied it up a little bit, because it's a bit nonsense. It's always Cadians. It's like, there's other branches of the Imperial Guard that are much more storied than Cadians. I mean, okay, they had the planet split in two. That's pretty storied, but still, always with the Cadians. I don't know. I just keep hoping they'll do more plastic deathcore, because that'd be awesome. I don't think they will. I'd love it if they did, but I don't think they will. Because if you think about it, you've got the Deathcore of Krieg, the plastic Killzone Deathcore dudes, and it's just one squad, and that's either a squad of men or a command squad. And you could think, well, it's not a lot of them. It's like, yeah, but then look at things like Tempestus Scions. In Tempestus Scions, you've got a box set of the generic Tempestus Scions and a box set of the command squad, and that's it. So I think Deathcore, although if you go on Forge World, you can buy like Grenadiers and other types of Deathcore and Riders and stuff. I think with Plastic Deathcore, they're just going to leave it with that box set, because you can make almost anything. You can make your command squad, you can make the infantry. That's kind of it, really. I think that's all you're going to get. Anything else, you'll have to go to Forge World. It's a shame. I was really hoping they'd do the Plastic Death Riders, the Deathcore dudes on horses, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I don't think Games Workshop actually understand what's popular. And there's been lots of ways this has been, you know, this is why you get often like the pre-order nonsense where they run out of things. It's like, I don't think whoever works out how many of a thing they need fully actually understands how popular their stuff actually is on a case-by-case basis. I think they don't know. That's why they frequently like undermake stuff. Despite every time they launch something, it sells out instantly and people buy millions of it. I just don't think they appreciate how popular their stuff actually is. I think the people that make the decisions about what they should make and how many they should release and how many should manage, I don't think those people actually play the game or have any real knowledge of the game. I think they're more like logistics and stuff. Which is a shame, because, you know, that's why you end up with people screaming for Sisters of Battle for like 15 years before it actually eventually comes out. Bless them. Bless them. A bit of glue in there. Put that on. And that goes on there. Mysterious, that can't be right. It isn't right. Oh, it is right. Yes, it is right. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Apologies, my chat isn't automatically updating, so I might miss a few comments or take a little while. I have to refresh the page every time, so bear with me. Don't forget, if you want to get my attention in chat, you can do @ModelMakingGuru, and it'll pop my name up with a little orange box like it does there. You'll see there. So I know there's a comment for me then. I'll get them anyway. Stefan says, belly, chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce, dip, bench, putting together a CDR compilation of some of my vinyl cleanups for a friend, beverage, peach flavoured iced tea. Woo. Daniel says, yeah, the deathcore they should make. Absolutely. I've got a tough decision coming up, actually, talking about CDs. I've got a very difficult decision coming up because with my Dodge Charger coming to an end and my Iron Man coming to an end and other part works on the go, I've got nowhere to put them. However, on our landing, on our stairs, we've got one of them things where the stairs go into a 90-degree corner and you've got this little platform that just sticks out. It's just a little platform with nothing on it. On there at the minute are there's a large hamper box. It's about, I don't know, 2 foot tall and about the same size, full of CDs, and another smaller one above it, full of all my old CDs, like hundreds of them. And I need the space, but I've only ever got round to putting about 10 or 15 of them on my computer. I don't really listen to music that often anymore, and when I do, if I'm on the computer drawing, I've got various playlists of stuff. So I've got a difficult decision to make. I'm gonna have to just get rid of them all. I mean, they're all like 20, 25, 30 years old, so probably half don't play anymore. So I'm steeling myself to basically get them all down to the recycling centre and put them into the books and CDs bins where they get you know, sent off to charity shops and stuff. I don't think they get recycled. I think they get cleaned up and sold at charity shop stock and stuff like that. I could sell them, but you know, the hassle of eBaying a couple of hundred CDs and trying to find packages to put them. No, I can't be bothered with that. A lot of them are really weird things anyway that who's going to buy. So I will have to at some point sit down and rip some of those CDs on my computer, but I haven't got a DVD drive on my PC. I've got this external DVD drive that's really slow to, you know, to rip the CDs. So I'll probably have to do that at some point. But I'll have to make some tough decisions as I can't rip everything. I mean, some of them are things like some of them are things like audio libraries for like IS-2000 synthesizers or sample libraries and things like that. Some of them are just really obscure things like Tangerine Dream's soundtrack to the movie Thief, which is kind of terrible. Or Exit and things like that, or other weird things. I've got a couple of Penguin Cafe albums, all these kind of things. So I'm going to have to sit down at some point and spend a week just going through my CDs, picking out what I really feasibly need to keep as a digital copy, and the rest will just go to the recycling centre into the big CD bin, where they can go to another forever home, I think. And then I'm going to use that space for my part works because I've got literally nowhere else to put them. So it'll be a sad day, but I've not listened to any of them in years. A lot of the music I've already ripped off them anyway, so it's on my PC. So I only ever listen to music on my PC. And eventually in my car, I've got a CD player in my car. Eventually one day I'll just get it doesn't work anymore, so I will eventually one day get a new car stereo that's got like a USB socket in it so I can have a memory stick. So I don't really listen to any of them anyway, so. Jim Daniel says, sell them. Some of the old CDs are worth quite a lot. They might be. I doubt they are. There's stuff that's still available now. There's nothing rare in there. I mean, I'll check out some of the sample libraries and stuff because they, of course, were never like, they were specific for people with samplers. They were very niche, so they might be worth something. But, you know, Queen's Greatest Hits? No. No. I won't get rid of... I've got Wendy Carlos's Switched On box set, which is the well-tempered Switched On back one, the well-tempered synthesizer, and then both CDs for the Brandenburg Concertos. That came out in 2001. That's a box. I'm going to keep that because I'm keeping that. I'm not getting rid of that. But it's the hassle of, you know, I've got a couple of hundred CDs I can sell. What do I put them in to send them out? Yeah, it's a lot of hassle and faff. I'll send them to new. I'll pick out the ones that I think are valuable. I'll double check them. But the general normal stuff, nobody's, you know, you're not gonna spend a few quid for people that still listen to CDs. Nothing rare on there. Nothing rare at all. Bobbins is in. Welcome, Bobbins. Apparently, belly pizza, ham mushroom, and mascarpone. Ooh, that sounds like that always something in my mouth. That word mascarpone always reminds me of those little dudes in Star Wars. Mascarpone, Houdini. I forgot what they're called. The little dudes. You know the ones. Daniel says, what version to make of the original DeLorean, 2 or 3? Oh, you mean like Back to the Future 2 or 3? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean if... I don't know the differences, to be honest, between them. I just know it's the Back to the Future DeLorean. I've only ever watched the films. I've watched Back to the Future a few times. I think I've watched 2 and 3 once each. Marty! Right, I built that one. This will be very similar. Again, it'll go on that side, and it's got the little hole. So I think it will be a case, if I magnetise these, of just sticking a magnet in there. I'll have to trim that down, like just take a few millimetres off the top of it to make it shorter. Hollow it out, because it's hollow anyway. Cut the end off. Pack it with putty, and then dod a magnet in there and get it into the putty and stuck. So then it's permanently magnet on the face of that, and it'll just... That's not too complicated. That side, more challenging, but I can probably get a magnet in there. I like the fact they've done this with... It's not even on camera. They've given you the thing that... not on this side, but on that side at least. They've given you the thing it attaches to, but there's a hole in there, which is almost exactly the right size for some of those really tiny magnets. So that could be interesting. I'm having to manually refresh my chat. It's ridiculous. So let's go for a desktop version, see if that changes it. Request desktop site. There we go. Would make no difference at all. La la la. Dorksaurus is in. La 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 la. Apparently, because somebody said hello to him. Hey Dorksaurus, welcome to you. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hey Fox. He says Jawas Fox. That's the one. Yes, thank you, Bob. Houdini. Mascarpone. Welcome to you, Paul. Big hugs to you and Dawn. Jeff is in. Candygram from Mongo. I'm gonna have to find a quote now. Let me go and find a quote. Hang on. Give me a sec. I can't just do the same random quotes all the time. Let me find a quote. Hang on. Dip 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 dip. There's the list. There's the link. Now there's about 300 quotes from stuff about cannabis on there, so I'm not going to read those. Do. Here we go. In many cultures, the customary answer is that God... I'll start again. In many cultures, the customary answer is that a god or gods created the universe out of nothing. But if we wish to pursue this question courageously, we must of course ask the next question. Where did God come from? If we decide that this is an unanswerable question, why not save a step and conclude that the origin of the universe is an unanswerable question? There you go. That was terrible. That wasn't very good. I didn't have my mouth in... I put my mouth in a certain shape to do Carl Sagan. I didn't do that. Oh well. Hello to you, Jeff. Big hugs. You don't happen to have a list of your CD collection, do you? What I might do, it's probably a good idea actually, if I get them all together, list them out, and then I can stick it in the boom hut and stuff. I suppose that if anyone's interested, might be a few takers. I don't know. I'm sure nobody likes the music I like. I'm sure none of you guys even know who Penguin Cafe even are. Dorkosaurus is giving everybody hugs. What was going on, says Paul Di Tommaso. Just a last minute live stream. I suddenly had an hour or two, so I thought I'll carry on with what I was doing on Friday, building my little Sentinel Walker. Now, I was going to do a game, but I decided I was hoping that Colin could join me, but he's obviously not available. So we all know Fox likes to jig about to Britney. What? Ew! I don't listen to pop nonsense. Yeah, Britney. Pop rubbish. Pop music. Ugh, nonsense. Such shenanigans. Don't ever suggest such a thing again, young lady. Right, so that's the heavy flamer. Flame up! We have a, what I assume is an autocannon. Doesn't actually, oh no, we've got a, I don't even know what that is. It doesn't, oh, that's a, I don't know, it's like a Gatling, a small Gatling of feebleness. We'll do that one next. I do wish they'd tell you. Would it really harm me to name each bit in the, never mind, moving on. Right, so we'll do this one. How's that frame rate, folks? Is it looking nice and smooth? It's not all choppy, is it? It's choppy at my end, but that's because I've got the preview window. I'm not seeing the actual stream. Do. And a bit of that. And one of those. And one of them. Come on, folks. There's millions of you in chat now. For the love of dog, please give me something to talk about. Ask me questions. I really am struggling to think of anything to talk about. Have you even got the right bits there? Yes, I think so. Brittany, dear Lord, would never sully my ears with such drivel. Ugh. Lol, Fox dancing away, singing "Oh Baby, Baby." Ugh. The moment a song has the word baby in it, I instantly don't want to listen to it. The only exception to that is ELO, because I grew up with ELO. And it's a whole different genre. It's not crappy pop. I don't really listen to songs. I've no interest in like songs. ELO I listen to, like I say, because I grew up with it in the house. So it's kind of there by default. A little bit of Queen maybe, but I haven't listened to Queen in 20 years. But again, because I grew up with it. But there's nothing else in my music library really that's songs. I think I've got like 2 Kraftwerk CDs, you know, so that's got a little bit of lyrics. That's not really count though. I've got 1 Crash Test Dummies album that I don't even know why I've got that. I think I like them for 5 minutes or something. But other than that, I don't think I've got any other songs in there apart from like some jazz stuff, old vintage. Oh no, that was on cassette. God, that's even older. So yeah, songs don't hold any interest for me. They tell you the story, they don't let you make up the story for yourself. I just like music. I like the music without the songs. I don't think anybody would have any interest in all my music collection anyway. So aside from some of the sample collections, anybody out there who's interested in sampling? Or a couple of Akai S2000 sampler libraries. I think I've got Grand Piano is one of them. Or pianos, I think. I can't remember now. It's been years since I've even looked at them. I'm having to refresh the chat manually. It's most frustrating. Most frustrating. Das ist nicht richtig. Oh, sorry, it's the Spice Girls, isn't it? Dorkasaurus says, I need some lunch. Well, don't think about me dancing to Spice Girls while you're eating, because that'll just put anybody off. Oof. Spice Girls, Jesus wept. You guys are just wrong on every level. I don't even know why I put up with you lot. You just, I don't know, there's just something wrong with all of you. You're all wrong. I don't know. Dee-dee-dee. Totally didn't get rid of the mold line off that, but that might get rid of it. A little bit of glue. I'm glue. How do you do? I'm a glue. I'm gonna stick these back on there. I don't need these to have these separate. Let me just get all these back on there and we'll tape them back up. Because they're sitting around getting in my way. Doing my beaning. Oops, no. Little bit of the tapey tape. I've got this great tape dispenser built into this bench, which is not that great because you can't get the tape off it easily. There you go, that stops that bit coming off when I put it back in the box or in on the shelf for a bit. I've now made a babushka walker, a babushka sentinel. Never mind, moving on. Right, so I'll get this one. This has got the tiniest little barrel on it. I've got to drill that out. Really? Oh, man. It's tiny barrel times. I've done las rifles. I can do that. No problem. There's me drill bits. Apologies if I don't answer your comment straight away. I'm having to manually... Oh, fudge. Having to manually update the chat every time. So I shall do my best. Where's my... Oh, I know where it is. It's not even in there, you sponge. Pin. It is in here. Because I was using it on the other dudes. There we go. It's going to be fun trying to drill out the barrels on the Steel Legion dudes. I've never drilled into white metal before. And the thing is, if you drill out a barrel on a plastic gun, you don't get it quite in the middle, you can work it with a knife blade. I've no idea what to do if I drill out a barrel on a las rifle on a gun, on a metal one, and it's not quite in the middle. I'm like, I just no idea how to approach that. Right, this is going to go either really well or really badly, but let's just find out. Sometimes you just got to do it and hope for the best. Quit your yapping. Oh, it went really well. Ooh, I think I got that almost perfectly on target. Not 100%. Just trim that side a little bit. There we go. Trim that side a little bit. And then with a touch of extra thin dampened brush. Again, it's only dampened. That will smooth off all the rough edges, and we have a perfect, pretty much, barrel of drilling. Oh, there's a drill bit there, I didn't notice. Drill bit. No, is that even the right drill bit? Drill out the barrel. That might not even be the right drill bit that I've been using on my Imperial Guard, but I don't know. There's so many little drill bits everywhere. Don't know what happened for dinner, but I'm really hungry all of a sudden. All of a sudden. Right, so they can go there. That can go there. Probably have to open it up again in a minute. So that's the barrel drilled out. I missed lunch and I have no idea what to do for dinner, says Paul Di Tommaso. If you're particularly lazy but you want something nice and filling, pasta's always a good bet. Blap it in a pan, 8 minutes, done, food, put something else. A pasta and some kind of tin of meat products that you can just slap in a pan and heat up. It's always quick. We's all wired up wrong, says Jeff Light. You are. I wouldn't like to assume that your light switches are really working. I'll be back in 1 second, folks. I just need to step away for 1 moment. Back in a moment. And we're back. Sorry about that. A little brief intermission there. Right, so we're back. Let me update the chat. I've got the burps. Updating the chat, waiting for the chat to load. Any time now will be good. Any time now will be good. There we go. Jeff says, modelling question. Oh, God. Modelling question. Can a substitute for contrast paints be made with standard acrylic paint and a fluid retarder like Liquitex Slow Dry? No. Not that's going to behave exactly the same way as contrast paints. Because retarder is just a way of making the paint not dry as quickly. It doesn't do anything to things like surface tension. It doesn't. The thing with contrast paints is they're designed to have a specific surface tension, and that's how they work, and how they bind the pigments. If you're wanting to do your own contrast paints, then the closest you can get to them is to use contrast medium, which is the Games Workshop contrast medium, which is contrast paint without ink colour in it, and ink. Tiniest amount of ink in some contrast medium. Now, I say specifically contrast medium. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I say specifically contrast medium because if you use normal art acrylic medium like Lamian medium from Citadel, or some of the the Liquitex acrylic mediums, anything like the glaze mediums, they will behave like acrylic paints. So Lamian medium and acrylic glaze mediums, they will behave like a normal acrylic paint. If you add pigment or if you add ink or paint to them, it behaves like an acrylic paint. It's just an acrylic paint without colour. If you want to have a specifically contrast paint, you're going to need the same medium to put the colour in. And the only one I know of is the contrast medium from GW. I can't think of anything else that does the same thing because it's not a standard acrylic paint. It's got specific properties. So you can make your own. You just need to use their contrast medium. And you can use either paints, you can add paint to it, or you can add inks. Inks will give you the best effect because they're more pigment dense. Or if you've somehow got yourself the old Citadel tint set, I've got one, you could add those. But yeah, you need to, if you want it specifically to be contrast paints, you'd need to add contrast medium. And I don't know of anybody else's apart from GW. If you're making shades, then you want to use an acrylic medium, again like Lamian medium or Liquitex or Winsor & Newton, anything like that, any basic acrylic glaze medium. And it's the same thing making shades or your own paints, because again it's just acrylic paint without the pigment in it. You can make washes and things with just water and colour, but they're going to behave differently to glazes and to shades and to contrast paints, if you know what I mean. That's my feeling, that's my thoughts. I don't know for sure, I could be completely wrong, but I would assume, because contrasts are totally different to their regular paints and shades, that something's very specific about the medium that you'd need to reproduce. Unless you know what that is. I don't know how you do it. Stefan says, I like a good melody and I like sounds with a leaning towards electronic stuff, being like that since the early 80s. Bought my first CD player in 87. I've since collected 5,500 CDs and won't stop. MP Moulded Plastic says, good evening everyone, greetings from Portugal. Welcome MP Moulded Plastic, not seen you before, but welcome along, thank you for coming. Welcome, 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 big hugs to you in Portugal. Hope you're having a good evening or day. Right, so let's get back onto this. So we're cleaning up this, it should be some kind of like Gatling, well it is some kind of Gatling, but exactly what it is an autocannon, I'm not sure. But I don't know, but we shall find out. I take it we're still looking and sounding okay. And we're going up to, just going up to 8 o'clock. We'll go for a bit longer. Yeah, so contrast paints are kind of weird. I know there's alternatives to contrast paints out there, but I don't know how similar the variants are to actual contrast paints. And contrast paints behave a lot like inks than, say, shades. It's all to do with the surface tension, the way they carry the pigment. So I'm guessing there's something in there that you're not going to reproduce without knowing exactly how it's made or having contrast medium. So just get yourself the contrast medium. Then you can at least just dip little bits, put a few drops of inks in a contrast medium and make a coloured one. I mean, it's not going to be any cheaper than actually buying the contrast paints yourself, but it does mean you'll be able to get contrast paints that are not the colours that you're forced to have. You know, you can expand beyond the Games Workshop standard colours. The same way you would make your own shades. With Lamy and medium and a touch of paint. Like if I need a Steel Legion drab shade, I just put some Steel Legion drab in some Lamy and medium. There you go. And again, it behaves differently. You can't just blop some paint in water because water behaves totally differently to medium, and medium behaves totally different to contrast medium. And the tricky thing is that mediums are designed to not thin the paint. They're designed to dilute the paint. So basically they just give you, they make the pigment less dense without changing the way it actually behaves. If you know what I mean. If you add water, that thins the paint and changes how it behaves. If you add medium, that dilutes the paint and that just makes it more transparent. But contrast paint has a very specific way. I'm no expert. I've barely used contrast paints, to be perfectly honest. So I'm kind of just pulling that out of my ass, but it's how I would assume it is based on common sense. I could be completely wrong. If I am, please tell me in the comments below, in the chat. Submit the chat. Manual update. Thank you, YouTube. Citadel contrast medium and ink. Got it. Thanks. I have lots of inks. I think I have some acrylic medium too. I'll experiment. Yeah, I mean, you can mix in paints with mediums. The only reason that inks are a bit better is because inks are much bolder and brighter and they've got much more dense pigment. So you can use a tiny amount of ink and you can make a really strong, bold, coloured shade or paint or what have you. But yeah, if you've got like Lamy medium, you can make your own shades or washes. If you've got contrast medium, you can make your own contrast paints, basically. Again, it's not going to be any cheaper. It just means you can get a lot more variation in colour than what's actually available to you. If you want a very specific shade, a colour, it's difficult using the word shade because you've got to be careful because they make shades. If you want a very specific colour but as a contrast paint, and then Games Workshop don't make it, you know, make your own. It's a really gnarly nub that won't come off. But I don't really know how exactly contrast paint works. Like I say, I know that water thins the paint and breaks down the acrylic binders. Medium dilutes the paint, but it still behaves exactly the same way. It just makes it more transparent. Contrast paints, they're kind of a mix between, they make it more transparent, but they also, it clings to the surface more. Like a shade or a wash will go into recesses and tint the surface a bit. Contrast paints are kind of the same, but they tint the surface more. I don't really know. I need to experiment with them more, I suppose. But I mean, the thing that's put me off contrast paints, and I never fiddle with them, is it may be different now, but when they first came out, for the good first year or so, everything you saw painted in contrast paints had this kind of like washed out look, almost like a watercolour painting as compared to like an acrylic or oil painting, and that just didn't do anything for me at all. I'm like, nah, I don't want that washed out look. It was perfect for me Borderlands style stuff, but yeah, didn't float my boat, so I've not really experimented with them much. Hot dogs for lunch, steaks for dinner, says Dorcosaurus. Ooh. Jim Lee's in. Welcome, Jim Lee. Welcome. Not seen your name before either. Welcome to you. Have you ever seen these scraper foil pictures? The tools they use are great for removing join lines. I've got a GW scraper. Other scrapers are available. I keep meaning to use this, but they're also just tiny little fiddly bits that I might as well use my knife. I don't like using my knife generally because it's too wibbly wobbly and scratchy, but I should be using this more. But welcome, Jim. So I don't think I've seen you in chat before. Welcome along. Hello, hello, hello. Don't forget, folks, if you want to catch my attention in chat, you can do @ModelMakingGuru. It'll put, or @GuruFox even. It'll put my name in an orange box and I can't possibly miss it. Or if you really want to, you can do a super chat. You can press the dollar symbol underneath the chat window, and you can do a comment that I can't possibly miss. You get an animated thing, and it also helps support the channel as well. It'll be keeping me in essential supplies like coffee and food. Where's me? That's what I forgot to do on this one. I forgot to go between my bits in my little ribbed area. Ribbed for my pleasure. There we go. Get rid of the mould lines in the gap there. La la la. Yes, so I'm hoping over the coming months I'll be able to slowly get back into a more... I need to move the camera again, don't I? Hang on. Right, let me just get this in focus. Where's my little focus tool? Come here, focus tool. Where are you? I'm going to be working here. Let's put that in focus. Hang on. Focusing now, sir. There we go. That should be about in focus. Right. You watch, I'll start working down here now. I'm supposed to work there where the little marks on my mat are. So I put the camera there and then I end up working here. Can't help myself. Yeah, so I'm hoping we'll get back to a normal schedule. I've got so many things in my stash that I need to paint and build. And going forward, I'm going to... Obviously, I've got lots of paint. Oh, hello. Something happened. Oh, Jeff's put a $5 super chat through. He says, here you go, have a tiny amount of coffee and... Oh, Jeff, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Love you lots. Big hugs and all that. Yeah, crazy radio voice man, you. Live on KPDM radio, the heart of Nebraska. I don't know what that means. Yes, I've got lots of things that I need to film painting tutorials for. And going forward, I'm going to make sure they focus on the painting. Traditionally in the past, I've done lots of things where I've shown the building and then the second half of the 12 episodes or whatever is the painting. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. There's really no benefit to me spending weeks showing you how to build a model as a kit from the instructions. There's no point. You guys know how to glue two things together. And if you don't, then there's the instructions that tell you how to do it. So going forward, we'll have painting guides, but they'll be like, here is the model assembled. Let's go paint it. Assembly will just be done either off camera or on live streams like this, I think. But there's lots of things I want to do. I'm currently toying with the idea of doing my Kashashatria. And do it in a Borderlands paint scheme again like I did with the Cesabi. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'll have to actually remember how the hell I did it because I've forgotten by now. Yeah, I am that rubbish. I need to get that Steel Legion painted up. That'll have to be done, which is cool. Can't imagine it'll take too long. The assembly side won't take too long with the Steel Legion, but I'll still do assembly stuff where it's something unusual, like if I'm doing, say, resin. 1 second. If it's something like resin, where I'm not going to film the build, but I might, like I was doing the big Orc Mega Track, I don't think I filmed the building of that, other than to explain a few things. So if it's something unusual like metal or resin, so I'll show a few things, like, you know, if there's a build that's just basic plastic kit, but there's one, say, bit of photo etch, I might show how I do that photo etch, just because it's out of the usual. Or a build that's got a specific thing you have to know, I might do that. But I'm not going to show like 5 episodes of let's build this thing, because that's just boring for you guys. That's just boring. But I do need to get back to it. But before I do all that, of course, I've still got part work backlog I've got to clear, and that's holding me back at the minute because I need to get that done. So stay tuned. I've still got to do the next sort of 5 packs of the GT40, the 4 GT40, so that'll be done. Again, I've been trying to get it done for the last few weeks. Hopefully this week coming up, it'll be done. But every time I try and do it, real life gets in the way and kicks me in the nuts and stops me doing it, which is most frustrating. But I'm acutely aware that I need to get back to filming at the bench. I've also got loads of videos to make for remodels. I need to make some more of those Q&A videos. These things are sent to try us. Let's clean up the little mould line. Talking about the mould line. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. So many things I need to do and build and paint. I've got my plastic deathcore I've got to paint. I've got all that. I did deathcore tutorial and everything. Dominique's in. Dominique Cuckoo. He says, good evening. Good evening, Dominique. Bonjour. Hi, chat. Also, Fox plus Mammy Fox hugs for her. Hey, Graham. Graham's in as well. Graham McRobert. Welcome, Grum. Jim Lee, been a long time lurker. Haha. I think I might have seen your name once or twice before, but not very often. So thank you for unlurking. Very kind of you to come along. Nothing wrong with being a lurker. Let's have a look. Thought I'd pop in whilst I had a moment free. I'm old and 7th edition guardsman, so interesting to see what's going on with the new stuff, says Jim. Oh yeah. I built up an entire battle case full of Imperial Guard that I haven't painted yet. And then they brought out the new ones and I'm like, oh. So now I've got like a billion Imperial Cadian, a billion Cadians, little short stumpy ones. And now I'm going to be mixing on the good looking dudes. It's like, oh, it's flange. Jeff says, the Borderlands paint scheme looked great. I know where there's a video series on how it's painted. I know that. I'm sure I've seen something. Graham says, Candy, my swap fell through. What's that, Graham? What were you swapping? Whatever it was, sorry to hear something didn't work out. That goes on there. Right, there we go. The join's almost invisible. It's invisible. It's a bit like the dreaded Bew Goy Goy, mate. It's completely invisible. Get off my show, mate. Unless you remember a specific episode of the Fast Show, that won't mean anything to you. I mean, so far, Jim, this is the new Walker, and I'm liking this more than the old one. Except it's not as posable. You can't quite get as many different poses. It's quite limited in its poses, basically. But it's all right. And I made mine into a bit of a babushka. Right, so that's that weapon done. So that's 3 weapons for this one. That'll go on there. So we are going to have to magnetise and eyes those, I think. Shouldn't be too hard. Then on the other side, and we've got one more to do. We've got another one for that. Oh, we've got the Dodding Great. We'll make that one. We'll do that one. Then we might call it a day. D58, D57, and D55 and 56. I think I can probably find these on the sprue without any problems. What I can't find is my clip-ons. Big fat bugger. Big fat Gatling thing. I don't know what it's called because, again, they don't tell you in the instructions what anything's called anymore. Is it a storm bolted Gatling? What? I mean, if you've got the codex for it, then I mean, I've got the codex over there, but I'll have to have a look in a minute. But it's just, I wish the old instructions told you what things were. No, I've got no idea. I'm on an old man wibble, aren't I? I remember when this was all fields. Shut up, kids today. I don't know. Get off my land. Right, we'll get that bit off the sprue. And yes, I can't speak for the new Cadian Combat Patrol, even though that's what this is. But this is the Cadia Stands box set. I can tell you that there is a mistake in the instructions. So some things at Games Workshop never change. Oh yeah, like a misnumbered piece. Use piece D55. It's D45. Oh okay. Never mind, sorry. But hey, we've got used to looking out for those things. Are you still active in it, Jim Lee? Are you still active in it, or have you like, you've been out of it since 7th edition? I've never actually played a game yet. I just like the models. I will play a game someday. Someday. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday and soon. So much stuff I haven't painted. I've still got my Lord of Change to paint. No, to build. I've got my Archaon to paint, and I've got my Lord of Change to build. Two-headed, of course. La 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 la. Nubs. Nubs. I'll have to get back to Gunpla as well at some point. I just got so burnt out on Gunpla. But I've got my Kshatriya to make, and I've got a Gyara Dog. I've got quite a few Gunpla kits in a stash. It's like there's a couple that are standing out. I want to do my Gyara Doga. I'm not sure which I've got more of now in my stash, actually, whether it's Gunpla or Warhammer. I've still got a Valkyrie I haven't even made yet. Good God, I forgot about that. I've still got Halo Warthog with dudes from my good friend Kenneth in Australia that he gifted me. I've not even built that. Wow. I've got my Space Battleship Yamato that I'll do one day. But that's a big bench filler, that is. What is it? 666 centimetres. How big is that? How big is... That's a point. Let's see. How big is 666 millimetres? Not centimetres. 666 is... Okay. Oh, it's not that big. It's about this bench thing I'm on now. It's about that. It's you know, like... It's that. I can't show you because the camera's not. It's a little bit wider than the thing I'm working on, but not much. Oh, okay, that's not that big. I mean, it's big. It's about the same size as my Revell U-boat, I suppose. Talking about my U-boat. The 172nd one, obviously. But it's a completely different scale. So, right. I've used this tin lid for my shavings, and the bench is already covered in shavings anyway. Never mind. Right, so we have to assemblate the doobadods. Like that, you see? That's going to need some cleaning. Oh, look, they've put rivets right on the join line, which means I'll have to take the rivets off and replace them. Oh, GW, you had it just almost so spot on then. You're doing so well, and then you put rivets right around the... Oh, come on now. You were doing so well. And then you blew your trousers. Oh well. Not big. I've got rivets. I can replace those. You insist on putting rivets on panel gaps. It's like, oh, but oh. Right, so that's going to go which end now? That goes on this end. Hang on, which is which now? Well, this is actually it's a rocket. This is a missile system, isn't it? It's not a Gatling. It's a big missile pod. I've just realised because there's little missiles in the tube. Missiles in the tubes. That's going to go there. So that's going to be the back end. Nice bit of back end there. Oh yes. That's going to go. How's that going to go? That's going to go like that. You see, like that. To see. Excellent. Don't know what I'm having for dinner. All I know is I'm hungry now. Je suis très faim. And then this bit goes on here like that. You see. Make sure these line up. So it's a missile pod, not a Gatlingy thing. That makes sense because then you've got the holes on the back where the vents, the gas comes out. I know what I mean. It's fun, if slightly painful, watching me figure things out sometimes. Oh. So that's the simplest one. That'll need some clean up on those seams, on those gaps. That's work of a moment or two. So if I just unhook this babushka thing around its neck. Let's just get out of that. Hang on. So that was rubbish. Let's just cut it properly like a grown-up, like a real boy. There we go. Use scissors like a grown-up person. So on this side we have these 3 weapons, which are going to sit like that. So I think, yeah, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drill that, cut about, well, I'll have to stick a basically have to stick a magnet in here and see. I mean, it can go all the way, you can push it on all the way and it will stay on, but every time you take that on and take it off, you're going to take paint off. So I will instead smooth that. It's got little lumps on it, so I'll smooth it down to a round. Do I want to do that though? Because if you put a magnet on it and it might just spin, it won't spin around. We'll see. If it all goes wrong, I'll just glue something on there. Yeah, so we'll cut the top of this little stalk off. It's hollow. We'll pack it with stuff from the other side. Get a magnet in there. We'll put a magnet in each of these on all these weapons. And we'll try and file this down. Before we put the magnets in here, we'll file this down to a point where it fits nicely. I mean, theoretically, I could cut most of that off, but I only really want it to be long enough to have a magnet in here and a magnet there, and then it's flush with the end and I can pack it in. This one is quite handy though, because this one's got the natural hole in there already, so that one we can just put a magnet in there. I've not built one of the other weapons yet, so I don't know how they work, but I'm assuming... How do they work? They are... what are the other weapons? What is the other side, weapon-wise? Oh, okay, the weapon has a peg. Oh, okay. Wait, what are your options? You've only got one option, it's the chainsaw thing? Oh, I see. Oh, okay, right, okay, and that side, you can have the chainsaw arm, or you can have a spotting light, spotlight do cluster, or you can have, what was the other thing? Oh, that's it. Or this funny little thing here, which I think is like, I don't know what that is, 3 smoke launchers maybe? I don't know. But that's just a peg that goes in the hole. So for those, I think what we do is we would cut the peg off and replace it with a magnet, which isn't too much of an ask, because then you can put a magnet in there and have a magnet on the bit that goes in. It might stick out a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. That's fine, because it'll be, even if you don't paint the magnet, it'll be silver and there'll be silver stuff on here, so that would look alright. That's the one thing about, you can get away with that with bare magnets if you need to. That's going to be the tricky one, packing it from the other side, but we'll figure it out. If it all goes wrong, I'll just glue something on. Right, so we've got some weapons made. They're all made and drilled out and cleaned up. I've not cleaned up this one yet, so I'll have to make sure I remember to do that. They've been done. Quick last look at chat now. I think we'll call it a show. Live chat, dear boy, not top chat. There you go. Definitely cool stuff. I saw the new Kassakin and Rough Riders, which really did interest me. They've not come out yet. I've got some of the old metal Kassakin as well, actually, that my friend sent me. If you haven't watched my video on my channel, Jim, you'll appreciate this. Somebody, I don't know who, it wasn't you, was it, by any chance? Me just suddenly appearing. Somebody sent me the entire Steel Legion reinforced platoon that's just been done on made to order. Like they've been discontinued for 2 years, and they've, like, for the last week they've said, right, you can order this now, order them all of it, everything, and then once it's gone in the 3rd of April, 3rd of March, or April, whatever, March. And somebody bought it and sent it to me, so I've got a whole platoon of Steel Legion. Wasn't you, was it? I still play in Paint, but my gaming group is set in 7th edition rules and we just try to pull new models back. Yeah. I don't know. I've never played the game, so I never got into the rules and the different editions, but I think 10th edition now is supposed to be a bit more streamlined, more like 7, I think. I could be wrong. I'm hoping for plastic vendettas at some point. Ooh. Where do you play, Jim? Says Jeff. We have access to converted double garrows. It's great for getting some boards. Oh, yeah. Angus Alexander, he says, 5 AM, raining so hard, it's roaring. Nice to see you all this early, says Angus. Hello, Angus. Good day, bro. Sorry it's so early for you. And we're just coming to the end now as well. Sorry. But nice to see you, buddy. Big hugs to you. ECI now comes in. Hey, all. Hard choice today, watching Foxx live or Colin failure live. Wait, what? Cole's not streaming, is he? Or do you mean last night's show? Oh. Do you mean last night's show? You got me panicking now. Colin's not streaming, is he? That I don't know about. Hi, EC. Hey, Fox, says EC Idaho. Oh, God, tell me Colin's not streaming. Not on a Saturday. Colin won't stream on a Saturday. No. Can you just clarify that? Hang on a minute. I need to check that now, because if I'm streaming at the same time as Colin, that's an egregious goof. You've got me panicking now. One sec. La, 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 la. La 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 la. No, he's not streaming. You mean last night's archive, don't you? God, you got me panicking then. You sponge. Don't do that to me, EC Idaho. God damn it. Of all the people I don't want to step on the toes of, Colin's the number one. Don't care about anybody else, but Colin. I'm not stepping on Colin's toes. Oh. Hey. Anyway, yes. So, well, I'm gonna call it a show now. Anyway, ECI though, so you're not going to miss that much. I think we'll leave it there. I might do some more of this, or I might just leave this. This is what I'm doing on the Friday Frolics, you see. So I might just leave it to then. We'll see. I might get some magnetising done during the week, but if I do get in time at the bench, I need to get that GT40 pot work on the way as well. So I might have to just do that instead. I am hoping this is my plan. I'll give you the plan for this week now. Again, it probably won't any of this happen. I need to do the next 4 packs of the 4 GT40, the 1/8 scale GT40. That's 20 issues. I've got that to do. That'll be filmed, not live. If I can get that done, then I've got the Iron Man stuff to do as well. The last 3 or 4 packs of that. And then once that's done, I'm free then for a while. So hopefully this week, I'm hoping to at the very least get the GT40 stuff done. Fingers crossed. So keep your eyes open for a GT40 video this week. I'll be back, of course, on Wednesday with Colin for the Baneblade build, 3 models on their channel. Then I'll be back on Friday with some video gamage in the morning, and then the Friday Frolic in the evening. Saturday, hopefully, we will have our return to Warhammer Sunday, but on a Saturday. It sounds weird, I know. Probably around about 5 or 6 o'clock PM. All being well, anyway. And then Sunday, of course, I'll be back with a video game stream in the morning, and then Colin will have his stream on Sunday. I will do my best, as I have every week, to get some filming done, to get the GT40 done, but we'll see how it goes. Again, as always, it's real life kicking me in the nads and getting in the way and stopping me doing anything. So that's why I can never really commit to anything. So I shall do my best. If I get any chance, any pop-ups of time, if I can, I'll do some more streams like this. Might be last minute. They might be like at 5 minutes notice, but I shall do my best for you. Colonel Failure, another British gamer, YouTuber. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I thought you said Colin. Oh, I see. Fox Live or Colonel Failure. All right, I thought you said Col as in Colin. God, you made me sweat bullets then for a second. I don't know. Not Colin. Yes, okay. Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, you ne'er-do-well. Anyway, yes, I shall leave it there. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me at such short notice. Apologies, Angus, that you've just come along and it's 5 AM and I'm just about to bugger off. Thank you for coming on anyway. I will see you all tomorrow for some whatever I play tomorrow morning. Might be some Far Cry 6, might be some Wolfenstein, might be whatever I decide to play. Could be anything. I was going to try some LA Noire for you, but I was playing it today and it's like, wow, this hasn't aged well at all. It's just not. It's not aged well at all, LA Noire. It's like, oh, no. We'll see. I might even get out the old Xbox 360 and play some Medal of Honor Frontline for you at some point. Because I only got through the first 2 missions. Anyway, shut up, Fox. I need to go make some dinner. Right, so, Everyone, thank you very much for watching and take care of yourselves. Don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, you can become a patron or a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru and become a channel patron, or you can press the join button. Oh, what was that? I think the fox cubs are in the garden again, making little... Yeah, the fox cubs are in the garden again, making little noises. It's about that time of night when they start yipping and making little squeaky noises in the garden. I think they're a bit big to be cubs now. They're kind of bigger now. I've not seen them for a while, but anyway. Yes, you can press the join button under any of my content to become a channel member. Either way, you support the channel. You get loads of exclusive stuff. You get access to the live 24/7 Zoom hangout. There's all the links in the description below. Tells you all about that. So go and check it out if you want to join the live Zoom hangout for patrons and members. Until then, though, I shall say thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, folks. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome, although you're already awesome because you're watching me and not Colonel Failure. Not Colin. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, big hugs. Adios, amoebas. Bye. Wait. Those are in no way the right titles. Okay. Try again. Hang on. Yeah, I didn't sort that bit out in advance, did I? Right, those are the... Adios, amoebas. Oh.